In this video, I'm going to present to you my dopamine detox plan so that my future self actually loves me, is proud of me, is actually happier. So I really wanted to make this video because I got hit with this realization just literally yesterday, I think, when I literally realized the consequences of my actions over my future self. Now, I've been on self-improvement for more than 3 years right now, so I'm not a stranger to that concept. But that being said, I really decided to visualize my future self literally being worse because of my decisions right now. I visualize my future self not achieving his goals of business and physique and social life and dating life because of me, right? I started realizing that bro, all of the junk food that I ate before, they just made my future self look worse, having a worse physique, having a worse fucking health. I literally visualized my future self, future me, being fat as fuck because of me, right? Because of the fact that he has a junk food addiction now. I've really started to just take into account and realize the consequences of my actions over my future self. And when I represented it myself and I visualized it with a physical body, right? And not just a vague idea, but really a physical body, it really hits me. And I was fuck me, I really gotta have a change. And so this is why I've made a dopamine detox plan for me to actually quit those bad habits and make my future self better, because I started to realize, wait, but if I do bad things, my future self gets worse. But if I do good things, good habits, my future self gets better. So I've designed a specific dopamine detox plan to actually make my future self as proud and as happy about me as possible. So the step one of this dopamine detox is, the dopamine detox plan basically. And so basically the plan is no porn, no social media, no junk food, and really reducing music. I know, some people will say that music is okay. For me, music is kind of a bad thing because I can listen to music a lot, right? So I'm not completely cutting down music, but I'm still really reducing it as much as possible. But porn, junk food, I don't play video games, that's okay. But scrolling on social media, those three, it's the fucking combo. I don't want to do them anymore. Anime also, fuck you anime. I used to watch a lot of anime. I don't want to do anime anymore. So anime, junk food, social media, porn. This is the fucking combo of 4. I don't want to do this shit anymore, so I'm drastically reducing them. I'm cutting them out of my life as much as possible. This is the dopamine plan, the dopamine detox plan. And now how I'm going to do it, because basically if I just say, quitting the bad habit, I wouldn't have made this video, right? If I could just quit the bad habit just like that, right? The big thing is I'm going to make a timetable on Google Calendar. So I just go on Google Calendar and I just make a timetable. I used to do that before, but sometimes I would skip days. It wasn't really serious. Right now I'm really getting back onto it. And so I'm going to do a timetable for each day on Google Calendar just before the night. And I'm just going to plot out hours by hours, minute by minute, literally what I'm going to do. So at this time I wake up, from this time to this time I do my morning routine, and from this time to this time I record this video or I edit the video. From this time to this time I go to the gym. From this time to this time, I do something else, I'm just going to do that for each and every part of the day of basically for the rest of my life, right? So this is the first thing that I'm going to do to actually achieve this fucking dopamine detox plan, because it is quite hard to actually just cut the bad habit and shit. I'm going to do a dopamine detox, and I'm going to, for that, do a timetable on Google Calendar. And afterwards, the second thing that I'm going to do is that, I can't just cut the bad habits and then just leave empty space, because I'll just go to the next bad habit, or I'll just find myself a new bad habit to get into. I'll actually replace the bad habit with a good one. So for example, at night, instead of just scrolling and shit, I've actually started reading books. So I've just replaced a good habit with a bad habit with a bad habit, right? Instead of just gooning and scrolling before bed, I'm just going to read or take a nice bath or some shit like that. This is pretty cool. I don't know, maybe after I come home from work or from the gym, instead of just fucking scrolling and shit, I'm just going to cook a meal, or maybe go for an extra walk, maybe go in a cafe or some shit like that. I don't know, but I'm going to just include, this is kind of included in the sort of timetable part of Google Calendar, sorry. It's just I'm going to take my time that I used for the bad habit, and I'm going to just replace them with time used for good habit that is actually going to make my future self happier. So that was literally my step-by-step dopamine detox plan. So no porn, no anime, no junk food, no scrolling, etc. Really reducing music as much as possible, only limiting it to like when I go outside or when I go to the gym, not when I'm alone by myself, because this is when I can listen to it for hours. I know myself, and my brain is kind of weak when it comes to that. That being said, I do that. And how I'm going to do it? Well, the timetable, and also, well, in that timetable, replacing the bad habits with good one, which is going to just like allow me to be a bit busy and not really like sort of think that much about like, oh yeah, I really want to do this bad habit and shit. So this is the step one, my whole dopamine detox plan. Now I'm going to talk about something that I found really interesting. It is the withdrawal phase. So I know for a fact that, bro, when I'm going to cut all of those bad habits, like I'm cutting them right now, right? I'm only starting my dopamine detox protocol with this video. And I know for a fact that I'll cut all of the bad habits, and I'll get like, I don't know, massive cravings. Just like basically, bro, to be honest, basically just like a fucking like coke addict. When he stops taking coke, basically, he gets like a withdrawal phase, which is like massive as fuck, and he really gets the craving and he feels like agitated and shit, to be honest. Those things like porn, anime, scrolling, junk food, they are literally like drugs, right? So I know for a fact that in this dopamine detox protocol, I'm going to get a huge withdrawal phase. I know that for a fact. I'm going to feel, and I know this about myself, I'm probably going to feel extremely anxious. Not because, you know, like I'm just like, because I don't have the bad habits with myself, but really because I actually am an anxious person, and I've just been using all of those bad habits to just feel better in the moment, basically just like covering my anxiety up with those bad habits, which is fucking deep when you think about it, right? Like I lived with anxiety for most of my life, and I just covered them with bad habit, and it's only right now that I'm fucking 18, I'm a fucking young adult, and I've lived with like anxiety with the past 18 years of my fucking life, that I'm actually just here started to realize, oh shit, like, I should probably do something for my anxiety, right? Maybe I should stop covering myself up with all of those pleasurable bad habits, right? I don't know. So this is really deep, right? But, you know, obviously I was prepared for it. And the biggest thing that I can do for myself right now, and maybe that you can do, I don't know, is to remind myself that it's only a phase. In the moment when you get like all of the cravings, is the moment when I'll get the cravings, I'll think to myself, like my brain will tell, my literal fucking brain, my ally will tell me, yeah, like, bro, this pain is so unbearable, and it's going to be like this forever, it's going to be like this forever. Whereas if you really think about it, like the withdrawal phase, it got like phase in you know, the sentence, right? The withdrawal phase. It's literally just a phase, right? It's like going to last maybe a few days, maybe a few weeks at worst, but like it's only going to last a few weeks maximum. So it's like, it's not going to be like this forever. So this is why, bro, I have to constantly remind myself, it's just a phase, it's going to stop at one moment. After a few days, if I'm really lucky, or after a few weeks, if I'm really unlucky, and I've been destroying myself. But I have to remind myself that it's just a phase, because my brain does the cope all of the time. My brain is like, oh yeah, but like it's going to be like this forever. You know, you just got to do this right now. You are just stuck with the bad habits, bro. Just do it right now. You know, that's okay. You'll get back tomorrow and shit. I have to remind myself, no, it's just a phase. You don't have to do the bad habit, and you don't want to do the bad habit. It's just a phase. That's okay. This trauma, like, what about just curing the fucking trauma instead of running away from it, right? So it's like, it's just a phase, it's just a phase. I have to remind myself, like, I think I'll just like put a fucking paper on my wall. It's just a phase. The withdrawal phase is just a phase. Don't give up or some shit like that, right? So I really, really need to just have this reminder every single time that I look in my apartment. I want to be reminded, oh shit, the withdrawal phase is just a phase. It's not going to be like this forever. So this is literally like the sort of step 2, the withdrawal phase, one of the most important thing. And step 3, what if I fell off? What if I fell off? Because I talked about the withdrawal phase, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to cut all of the bad habits, and it's going to feel bad, but I gotta remind myself, etc. I know I'm not perfect. So I'm probably just going to fucking like do the bad habit. I know one day I'll end up fucking scrolling, gooning, or binge watching anime or some shit like that. I know for a fact I'm not perfect. That being said, I really thought about this and I was like, what if I failed off? What if I actually start doing the bad habit again? And the answer is fucking simple. That's okay, just come back to the dopamine detox, right? Because let's say if, for example, like before I used to watch like anime almost every single fucking day, maybe like 6 days a week, right? 6 days a week I used to watch anime. If I stop watching anime for 3 days, right? Literally 3 days, right? 3 days in a row I stop watching anime. And then on the 4th day, I watch anime again. Then that's fucking awesome because I just went from like 6 days a week to like what? Like 4 days a week? I think, bro, I'm not really fucking good at math, to be honest. But like, yeah, basically like 4 days a week, right? Like fucking 7 minus 3, boom, 4 days a week, right? So it's fucking huge progress, right? So I was like, I just made progress from like 6 days a week to actually 4 days a week, which is fucking awesome, right? So the idea of like, what if I fell off? It's like, instead of being in like a streak, right? It's like, oh, I need to go to day 90 or some shit on like dopamine detox, right? Just like kind of like NoFap, which is fucking bullshit. Instead of doing that, I actually need to just reduce the volume. Same thing with music, you know, I told you, oh yeah, I'm going to listen to music. I'm just going to listen to music less and less and less every single week, every single month, right? So that's okay. Right? That's fucking okay, right? So if I fell off and I do the bad habits again, well, that's okay because I just need to reduce the volume over time. And if I actually been consistent on dopamine detox for a few days, maybe even a week before that, I've actually reduced the volume to like a significant amount. So this is just me like safeguarding myself for like the future and also for my future self. Like if you fell off dopamine detox after a few days, that's okay. Right? Like you're not a fucking bad person. Those things like junk food, porn, anime, social media, music, they are fucking addictive as fuck. They're made to be addictive as fuck. So you're not a bad person if you're struggling with those things. At least this is what I tell myself. I'm speaking to my younger self right now, to my future self, sorry. I'm speaking to my future self and I'm like, you're not a bad person for struggling with this. You're actually like a good person for actually trying to make efforts into reducing them. This is literally my fault. So I was like, well, if I fell off dopamine detox, but then I get back on it again, well, that's okay. So that was my full dopamine detox plan.